on complex fractions. The biggest part of the complex fraction was how to read it. We have, and how do I read this problem?
9.
I would read it as?
9/10 divided by 9.
Right, 9/10 divided by 9, because this line here is a little bit longer than the other one, so that's where we're going to do our division. Then I write 9 over 1, and then we do the keep, change, reciprocal.
1/10.
Then I cross cancel my 9s, and I get 1/10. 24. It looks like we have two fractions, so this one's pretty easy to read. I got 1/12 on the top, 5/6 on the bottom. So I would write this as 1/12 divided by 5/6. Then we do the keep, change, reciprocal.
1/10.
I'm going to cross cancel my 12 and my 6 by 6. So this becomes a 2, this becomes a 1, and I have 1/10.
I got one fix.
Find your error.
I did.
Okay. But whatever you do, just find your error. How many of you got those two both correct? Excellent. Well, you're finding your mistakes. Then we had some story problems where we have Mrs. Fraser is making costumes for the school play. Each costume requires 75 hundredths yards of fabric. That's important, each. She bought 6 yards of fabric. How many costumes can Mrs. Fraser make? The important thing to do here is to ask yourself, whenever you come to division problems, what am I splitting? What am I going to divide up? Am I going to divide the 75 hundredths yards of fabric or the 6 yards? So then that's what's important, because that comes first. So I have 6 yards divided by 0.75, or I can write this because we're talking about, in this lesson, it was about complex fractions. So I'd write it as 6 divided by, and I should know what 75 hundredths is as a fraction. 3/4. So then it's keep, change, reciprocal, reduced by 3, and I get 8. I know you did not have to do 27, but I want to do 27 with you because I want to set it up. A lawn company advertises that they can spread 7,500 square feet of grass seed in 2.5 hours. Find the number of square feet of grass seed that can be spread per hour. Underline that. How much can be spread per hour? So what would be my label on the top? I'm just thinking labels here, because remember, when we're getting into rates, unit rates, labels matter. Yes?
Square foot.
Or number of seeds, right? Either way, it's fine, right? Because it says how many square feet of seeds. So we can just put square foot on top, per, then what's my, right here, it'll tell me what I do on the bottom, per what? Hour. So then I fill in my 7,500 over 2.5. Then I'd have 7,500 divided by 2.5. And then I write 7,500 divided by 5 over 2. Then I get into keep, change, reciprocal. And then you can finish it from there. Make sure you're writing everything down that I have on the board, sorry.
I can't divide 5 into 11 exactly.
That's okay. When we get it into this point, what will I allow you to use? Okay. And that's fine that you can't do that quickly. That's okay. It's not that big of a deal. You'll get time to do it off to the side. But we're not even going to worry about the answer. All I was worried about was for you setting it up.
Awesome.
Okay,
Sure.
then we went to 28. To change percents to a fraction, what do we put a percent over?
No, don't.
Not 1.
100.
100.
It's
That's
always over 100, so you should have started by writing 2 2/5
Over 100.
over 100.
Yep.
Then you would have written 2 2/5 divided by 100. Then you would have written 12 fifths divided by 100 over 1, and then 12 fifths times 1 over 100. Reduce the 12 and 100 by, I'm gonna just do it by 2, because let's just say I don't know. That becomes a 6 and a 50, but I can do it by 2 again, and that becomes a 3 and a 25. If you knew you could divide it by 4 to start with, that's fine. So then 3 times 1 is 3. 5 times 25 is 125.
Oh, I didn't. Oh. That's why.
I forgot 3 days.
Same.
Wait, hold on.
That's why you want to cross cancel
Oh
first.
yeah, cross time.
Yeah, I forgot to do cross cancel. I didn't know you could cross cancel.
So then you're making corrections. Shay, make sure you're writing everything down. So now we have 8 1/3 as a percent. What do we put it over?
100.
So I do 8 1/3 over 100. I always want to see what you're starting with. Then you do 8 1/3, change it to divided by 100. Then I see the next step where you're changing your mixed number to an improper fraction, which would be 25 over 3, still divided by 100, but it's over 1 now. No, not gonna cross cancel yet. I'm gonna do the keep, change.
3.
Yep, I haven't done that yet because I don't want to make a mistake. Now I'll cross cancel by 25. So that becomes a 4, this becomes a 1, and now I have 1, 12. So 8 1/3 as a percent is 1, or 8 1/3 percent is 1/12 as a fraction.
Oh, really? You start cross canceling.
Number 32 had a lot of work to do. You had to do a whole lot of work in order to get this one right.
Oh.
You can't just guess. I need to see the work, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't have you do 33, because 32 is going to take, you actually have to do 1, 2, 3, 4 problems in order to solve it.
I use blue.
So there wouldn't be, I would just use the room there for 32 to do my, or for 33 for 32. So it says Deborah bought 3 1/4 yards of fabric at a remnant sale for $13. Determine if each of the following remnant deals have the same unit price as Deborah's deal. Select yes or no. Unit price. So I'm gonna just start by a label. What goes on top?
Dollars.
Dollars. So it's always going to be my cost. Now this is cost per what?
Yard.
Yard. And then I'm gonna circle that, so I know that that's what I do. If you didn't do that, go ahead and do it and make sure it's there. So then if they are selling it for $13, I'm gonna do 13 over
3 1/4 yard.
3 1/4 yard. So now I know that that's just division. So I take $13 divided by 3 1/4. Now I just follow my rules for division.
Keep change.
13 over 1 divided by, this is 12, 13 fourths. So then it's keep, change, reciprocal. Cross cancel my 13s.
4.
It'd just be 4 over 1, which equals 4.
So it's just 4 over 1, which would be 4, and it's $4 per yard. So now we need to see which of those three will equal $4 per yard? Okay, so it is 4 2/3 yards for $16 per yard. So now I have 16 divided by 4 2/3. So then I write 16 divided by 4 2/3. 16 over 1 divided by, this is 12, 13, 14 thirds. Now it's keep, change, reciprocal.
Divide by 2.
I can divide by 2, which is 7, this is an 8. So then 8 times 3 is
24 over 7.
24 over 7, which would be 3
3 and
3 sevenths. But if we're talking dollars, you'd really want to change that to a decimal.
3.
But does 3 3 sevenths equal 4?
No.
No. So then I have, my next one is $11 divided by 2 3/4. So then it's 11 divided by 2 3/4. 11 over 1 divided by 8, 9, 10, 11 over 4. Keep, change, reciprocal. My 11s cancel out.
It's 4 again.
It's 4 over 1, which is 4 again. So does that work?
Yes.
Yes. Do I have to show my work in order to do this?
Yeah.
Yes. There's no guessing involved in math, guys.
What about Google?
There's never gonna be guessing involved. So then I have 6.5 yards for $26. I'm gonna erase some of this stuff. I think most of you have gotten it written down. And I've got 26 divided by 6.5. So 26 over 1 divided by 13 over 2. So it's 26 over 1 times 2 over 13. Reduced by 13. This becomes a 1. This becomes a 2. 2 times 2 is 1 times 1 is 1. So my answer is 4 again.
Oh, I got it right.
But you had to show your work.
I use Google. Let me stop recording.
No, you have more.
Oh yeah.
Spiral review. I know many of you just knew the answer, so you just put in the answers.
Yeah.
I'm going to do all of them because this is going to help you in our upcoming lessons, that I need you to write it out. 2 feet is going to be over 1 times something equals 9 inches. So feet need to be on the bottom. In 1 foot, there's how many inches?
12.
Then that's saying 2 times 12 is 24 inches because my feet cancel each other out.
Yeah.
I know many of you could have just said 2 times 12 is 24. But I want to see this.
Okay.
So then my next one,
No.
5 tons over, I know you didn't have to do odds, but we're going to do them because I want them set up. Over 1 is how many pounds? So pounds on top, tons on the bottom, because my tons cancel each other out. In 1 ton, it's how many pounds?
2,000.
2,000.
Oh god, you sure?
So then 5 times 2,000 is 10,000. Eight gallons. I want gallons on the bottom, and I want it to be quarts, so quarts are on top. These cancel each other out. So in 1 gallon, there's how many quarts?
4.
So 8 times 4 is,
32.
a while back we did a lesson like this. Remember when we took a picture of the chart? That's why it says it's a spiral review. Spiral review means it's a review. It's something we've already gone over. 1 meter is so many centimeters. So I have 1 meter is, and I'm gonna have to do meters, and I want it to be centimeters. So, in 1 meter is how many centimeters?
1,000, 100,000,
Way too many.
10,000,
Too many.
1,000, 100.
100.
Million.
Centi means 100. Like,
I remember
if it's
you
a
told me.
century, how many years is a century?
100.
100.
Oh, shoot.
So then it'd be 100. 1 liter.
10,000.
Liters need to be on the bottom. Milliliters need to be on top. Milli means
10,000.
1,000.
Oh.
So there's 1,000 milliliters in 1 liter. So 1 liter equals 1,000 milliliters, because the liters cancel each other out. Meters over here canceled each other out. 1 kilogram
I don't know.
is how many grams? How many grams are in a kilogram?
Oh crap.
1,000. Guys, you need to have that stuff memorized. So 1 times 1,000 is 1,000. You need to get that memorized. Now, we're not moving on to converting unit rates. This is what's going to help you for the next lesson.
Can me and Todd take a picture?
Okay? Hold on. I want you to go back in your book to the part where it says, no, not too far. Same lesson. Independent practice pages, though. That would be, I went too far here.
21.
21, yeah. All right, on page 21, we're random. I'm not saying all odds. I'm not saying all evens. You need to do number 1, so you need to circle these. 2, or don't, nope, sorry. 1, 3,
I have the board.
6, 7, 8, 9, 11,
6, 7, 8,
13, and then you turn page and you have to do 9.
11, 13.
Okay, those are 9 problems that you need to complete for the assignment